27 voting members, but I will double check in case I have double votes, but it should be that. No, 26. Thank you.
And I resume the standing orders. And now I have a point. I have discussed with Svetlana and whoever was available. So to clarify the matter in discussion, everybody can ask questions to the candidates. It is a matter of stating your status. As we can say, every OD is credentialed to represent their association. It is a matter of how they feel. They should ask questions when they are elect or candidates, you know? So I've seen in the minutes, yes, LS from a certain country that was elected, that was coordinator candidate, is still written in the minutes as representing the association. However, I did not see any executive elect asking questions anymore, but that should not be forbidden either, as long as they state if they are asking the question as executive member elect or as representative of the association. So it is just a matter of how they state the status they choose to use during the elections. Is it clear? Do you have questions? So even executive elect can ask questions either as executive elect or as OD, let's say, or LS. Okay, if this was clear, we can move on to the next points. And for this, I will pass once again facilitation to Era.
Thank you, Bianca. Next on the list, we have Publications Coordinator. PC has received one application from Sara Ramazani, proposed by FASFR Romania and seconded by xiii de Slovenia. So, yes, thank you, Bianca. And now I will open the floor for questions. Also, please correct me pronunciation if it's not correct. And I open the floor for questions. I see Veronica.
Veronica, Publications Coordinator. Thank you for your application. I have a question regarding monthly dose, because you mentioned that you want to bring a new perspective on this publication. So could you elaborate on this if you have any ideas for change, or maybe ideas to increase the number of subscribers? Thank you.
Sarah with a direct.
Sarah, Publications Coordinator candidates. Thank you for your question. I have indeed mentioned that I hope to bring a fresh perspective to the publications department. And firstly, I feel because it's a very creative department, it will be a fresh perspective anyways due to the personal touch you bring to the department. The few mentions that I have made in my candidacy as well are the fact that I'm planning on taking the podcast in a more professional direction. So what I've seen from the episodes that are currently published is that it is very oriented towards the students and recent graduates, which I felt like was a very good place to begin with. And then I was planning towards moving it in a more already established professionals kind of direction, so you could take the next step from as you graduate, how you advance in a profession, and the podcast to have this natural direction as well. And with the blog, because you mentioned increasing the reach, I was planning to apply the same strategies that I applied and that worked well in our local association, which were having a schedule, which I believe is very important, and trying to make the articles interactive and very centered towards the students' ever-changing interests. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. KMPSV.
Jason, KMPSV, Netherlands. As the publications coordinator of EPSA, you have to be writing in English. How would you rate your knowledge of the English language, and what would you do if you are struggling on how to say something? Thank you.
Sarah.
Sarah, Publications Coordinator candidate. Thank you. I believe that this is an aspect that I won't particularly have problems with. I have studied English ever since I was in secondary school, and I have passed quite a few English exams as well that had the written part. I have before written in English. I also have a personal blog where I write in English as well. But I'm not... I don't want to state that I am the utmost institution on English. So if there were, for example, a topic that I would want to tackle that would make it maybe have highly specialized terms, I would probably just look them up, try to develop myself as well. But I believe that my English knowledge would be suited for this position. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. PPSA.
Yeah, I'm a PPSA student. In your application, you mentioned that in your association, you collaborated with external digital marketing agency. So if you are elected, would you also suggest this kind of collaboration in your portfolio? And how would you approach this topic, this matter, when it comes to collaborating with external organization to increase the promotion? Thank you.
Sarah.
Sarah, Publications Coordinator candidate. Yes, indeed, we have collaborated with a digital marketing agency when we redesigned our site, because we faced similar problems to which the EPSA site is facing right now. Our site was quite old as well, as Federici said about the EPSA site, so we had all sorts of problems in the interactivity of it. I would highly suggest we establish a collaboration with the digital marketing agency. I saw that the EPSA team had already this in mind, so it's not something that I'm proposing for the first time. I know that this doesn't exactly fall under my function, but what I noticed from the collaboration we established is that it really takes a bit of a village, and if you put the effort into modifying the site, it would be a shame not to involve every member of the team and make sure it's a proper job done in every section of the site. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Next, we have Apef.
Luciana, Apef, Portugal. Thank you for your application. You mentioned that you wish to increase the reach of the EPSA blog, yet the result of the working statement 2 suggested that its importance was reduced. And I was thinking if you were aware of this suggestion, and if accepted, what do you wish to focus your efforts on instead? Thank you.
Sarah.
Sarah, Publications Coordinator. Thank you for this point. It is it has indeed been brought to my attention as well, but I spoke to both Serena and Veronica, and I believe that the reason for which its importance was kind of dulled out was because of the quite low reach that it had recently, and this is an international tendency of going towards more interactive platforms such as the podcast that's a recording rather than a written text. However, in my experience, in my past mandate, I saw that we could really increase the reach of the blog by applying a few points that I'm planning to implement here too. So to answer your questions, I will focus my efforts towards trying to raise the reach of the blog, but if that is not possible, I'm planning anyways to continue the podcast series and other more interactive forms of publications. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. And next we have KMPSV.
Jason KMPSV Netherlands. Speaking of the podcast, you mentioned that you want to select potential guests for the alumni, people in charge of the pharmaceutical divisions and the health commissions. Have you thought about the content of these podcasts and where will you lay the focus on? Thank you.
Sarah?
Sarah, Publications Coordinator candidate, thank you. I was actually thinking that now that you asked this question, that the direction that every podcast goes to depends highly on the guest. So I'm planning, as I mentioned before, to take it in a direction where we sort of present the career path. So it is more accessible, or our students have more knowledge on it, whether they want to take the direction in their own career path, but also depending on the specific guests. I would also ask some insights inside their domain, and if there's like a hot topic in the present, like I don't know how we have now with the COVID vaccination or stuff like that. I think it's important to always bring the novelty or the subjects that are very present in people's minds in the podcast as well, so you direct their attention towards it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Next we have Serena.
Hi, Serena, VPPR. So as part of the PR department, you're somehow in between two, let's call them teams. You are part of the department, but you are also collaborating with the subcommittee. How do you feel about this team dynamic? I don't know, what's your experience with this kind of dynamic, like being part of something that you have to collaborate with and also working with someone that you have to give tests to?
Sarah?
Sarah, Publications Coordinator candidate. I believe this will come quite easy to me. I come from a team where we always helped each other in every aspect of our job. So I'm eager and I look forward to collaborating with the EPSA team. About the subcommittee, I have also coordinated two teams in my still current mandate in my local association. So I had a writing team and also a photography team, which I have collaborated with all throughout the mandate. And I could highly rely on, and I could see these people grow from task to task. So if anything, I'm excited about the prospect of being part of the team and also coordinating the subcommittee. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Next we have CPSA.
Michaela, SPSA Slovakia. Since the EPSA newsletter was moved under Publication Coordinator portfolio, would you like to continue with publishing 2 issues per mandate or 3? Thank you.
Sarah?
Sarah, Publications Coordinator. Thank you for your question. Since I have also elaborated the newsletters for my local association, I know that this is a matter that you can't necessarily state at the beginning of your mandate because it depends highly on what activities the association needs to perform in the next mandate. So if we will have so many things that we necessarily want to include in a newsletter, I would definitely go towards the 3. But if we encounter some obstacles, or we can't do all the projects that we were initially planning on doing, I wouldn't drag it to the 3, and I would stay with the 2. So it depends on how many activities will take place that we want to include in the newsletter. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. KMPSV.
Jason, KMPSV Netherlands. Have you reached out to the current or past publications coordinator? And if so, what did you get out of it? Thank you.
Sarah.
Sarah, publications coordinator candidate. I have indeed reached out to Veronica. It was one of the first steps when I was considering my candidacy. I first talked to Sorina, as I also knew her from my local association, and then she redirected me to Veronica, and I talked to both of them. And I gained quite a lot of knowledge from my interaction with her, as she was very kind and explained every aspect of the job she has done. And I asked her specific questions on each publication, and also on what she felt made her feel most fulfilled in her mandate. And her answers were very helpful and were part of what determined me to candidate. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. I have no apologies. I have no one else on the speaking list. Do we have any other questions? I see none. Sarah, you may address GA with your last 1-minute speech. Yes, Sarah.
Sarah, publications coordinator candidate. Thank you so much for your question and for the interest you have shown in my candidacy. As I have before mentioned in my application, this is a domain I believe myself to be very well qualified in. And I believe that this gives me the opportunity to put to use EPSA's platform and my knowledge into creating something of very high quality, something that our students, our members, our partners, our friends would enjoy reading and listening to. I am very excited to be here with you today, and were to be elected, I look forward to working together towards accomplishing EPSA's vision and mission. Thank you so much for considering my application.
Thank you, Sarah. And now we'll move on to the next position, which is social media coordinator. Here, PC has received 2 applications, one from Gabriela Hajeva, please correct me later, proposed by BPSA United Kingdom and seconded by BPHSA Bulgaria. And the other candidate is Leila Pasic, proposed by SHSFD Slovenia and seconded by EPSA International Turkey. Since we now have 2 candidates, every question asked will be answered by both candidates. And we'll switch the order in which the questions are answered. And now I open the floor for questions. Yes, GPSF.
George, GPSF Grace. In what ways do you plan to enhance the contribution of member associations on social media platforms? Thank you.
Yes, Gabriela.
So, like I wrote in my motivation letter, I plan to work closely with each member association so we can increase the visibility of EPSA on a national level, because I believe there's still some gaps and misses with the awareness of EPSA in each country. As I said, I plan to make a team week. So this means that I want to post content about each member association with interesting facts, so we can engage our audiences. So they, so we work with each member association to create something useful for both EPSA and each member association. Hope that answers the question. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabriela. And now it's Leila's turn to answer.
I believe that we are on the top of the feeding chain, and that's why we need to be working really closely with every local association that we have by creating a really close connection with everybody and dealing the most things face to face or nowadays online. Hopefully, I will engage every local association to give their best, so we can all have some new members and also new numbers followings and etc.
Thank you, Leila. Next question is from BPHD.
Korea and BPHD Germany. Dear candidates, how are you planning to enhance EPSA's social media presence on LinkedIn, as it's a very important professional platform? Thank you.
Thank you, BPHD. Now it's Leila's turn to answer first. Leila?
Leila, social media coordinator candidate. Even though I was said that LinkedIn is a part of VPPR's job, I also did some research on that platform as well. I saw that actually LinkedIn is managed very well with the updates and very professional actually by doing hopefully some work with the design coordinator. Hopefully we will have some new templates that we can use to actually attract more professionals to actually look at our page and also to connect better with a lot of pharmaceutical companies.
Thank you, Leila. And Gabriela?
Gabriela, social media coordinator candidate. As I understand from Lucy, the current holder of the position, LinkedIn is not part of the social media coordinator job. However, that doesn't mean we not work as a team to enhance it, to share our LinkedIn page on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, to promote each page on different platforms. But yeah, we can also make a lot of try to make new connections with more professionals from pharmaceutical industry, from different association and organization across Europe. As I'm aware, there are a few in the UK we can work, and people from other associations can help me here to tell me another association or group of professionals that we can work with. So as a teamwork, we can enhance LinkedIn presence. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabriela. And as a technical, Gabriela and Leila, you don't need to put directs in the chat. I will just let you know when it's your turn to answer. And next we have a question from KMPSV.
Jason KMPSV, the Netherlands. Have you thought about how to approach the different EPSA social media platforms? And do you know which platform has the biggest reach or the best interactions? Thank you.
Thank you, KMPSV. Gabriela, you may start.
Yes, Gabriela, social media coordinator candidate. As I did my digital marketing course, I learned a lot about insights and about how we should approach each social media platform different. Facebook we have more the most following count, but Instagram, in my personal belief, it needs improving and enhancing follower count, because I believe in an association this big, we must have more engage with our platforms. Twitter is as much as Instagram as aware, but yes, I know how to approach different platforms. And I believe, for example, Twitter, we can use hashtags on different events. You can repost in hashtag about this event. For Instagram, we can do a lot of more giveaways, questions, live Q&As. Trying to gather feedback from me, which is really important. And with Facebook, we can publish and post our official events.
Thank you, Gabriela. Your time is up. And Leila?
Leila, social media coordinator candidate. Actually, I already developed different strategies for different platforms because I think right now we're posting exact same thing on all platforms, which in my belief is why we have so low numbers, especially on Instagram. That is why I have completely different strategies, and hopefully when I get the numbers and go through analytics, I would probably see where we have the least engagement and do my best to make it work in a better way. So I would also work towards verifying our pages, because I think it's very important to have that verified badge, because we will be understand more seriously as a big organization and association like EPSA needs. So strongly, I believe that my strategies will work on different platforms and we will get better results. Thank you.
Thank you, Leila. Next question is from APEF.
Luciana APEF, Portugal. Thank you both for your applications. What do you anticipate could be the biggest challenge for your term? Thank you.
Thank you, APEF. Leila, you may start.
Actually, I think the biggest challenge in my term will be that we're all overwhelmed with those social media. We're all on it 24/7, actually. And I think I need to find the ways. And I think I believe that I already found the ways to engage more people. But that is why I'm here to do my position and to make EPSA's pages more reachable and to people to have fun on them, not only just educational part, especially on Instagram, where I believe we are lacking that social part of the platform. And that is why I think we can, with the fun part, engage more students and hopefully get bigger numbers and engagement. Thank you.
Thank you, Leila. Gabriela.
Gabriela, social media coordinator candidate. I believe we have the people to look at our content, but for me the most difficult probably to make them interact with us, to have these live interactions. I think that's really important, because right now the content is really informative and it lacks this interaction and engagement. I would like to ask people to comment, I would ask people questions, answer them in the comment section, or to make, like I said, some kind of a question tab. So if anyone has questions, I want to make people ask and be aware and participate as much as we give, so they give us back.
Thank you, Gabriela. Next, we have AFOP.
Annika, AFOP Austria. For your position, you will need to be available for a lot of short notices. How is your availability for that? How would you handle it if a request came in short notice?
Thank you, AFOP. Gabriela.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? I missed. I understood about availability, but available for what?
Yes, AFOP.
Available for example, posting things, or because sometimes they come like on the day or just the day before.
Thank you, AFOP. Gabriela.
Gabriela, social media coordinator. I think I'm available all the time if you prioritize your things. For me, EPSA would be a priority. So if I have to do something, I will do it immediately. I'm staying on social media quite often. So for me to make it something productive, it will be really meaningful for myself. And so, yeah, if something comes up, immediately will be done. As I said, everything is a matter of priority. And EPSA is a priority.
Thank you, Gabriela. Leila.
Leila, social media coordinator candidate. Actually, I would set a schedule that would be available for all projects and all campaigns that we have. And I would do a reminder every, let's say in 5 days, you have to submit something. And by that, hopefully I will not have those not on time posts, but as I am a student abroad, I actually am fully on my schoolwork and nothing else. My family and my friends are away, so I'm always available, and by keeping in contact with them, I'm always reachable on any social media platform, and I would actually get you answer or post up in approximately some short period of time. Thank you.
Thank you, Leila. Next question is from VFSO.
Sophie, VFSO Belgium, and thank you both for your applications. I was wondering, in the summer months, often the engagement is much lower, and especially now that we don't have the summer university that you can promote. I was wondering, how will you stay connected with all the students during those months? Thank you.
Thank you, VFSO. Leila?
By interacting, Leila, social media coordinator candidate, by connecting with students through interactive posts and with the campaigns that will actually engage people to do something. And if we actually give some, let's say, prizes or do some work that will actually engage people, not only listen to us or just read our posts, I think that probably I would try be more active with the posts and post more frequently, and not to have a day that EPSA is not actually engaging with their own students. Thank you.
Thank you, Leila. And Gabriela?
Gabriela, social media coordinator candidate. I'll try to be consistent in posting and sharing, because consistency is the key to success. Also have to be engaging with our audience. We can make some kind of a giveaways, interactions, not just to make some posts. We have to make people engage with us. So yeah, I think giveaways is a really fun way to make people participate. Comment your pharmacy body in the comment section below, like a game. We can make some kind of interactive games with people. There are many ways we can engage in a fun way, not something really formal, but really like, yeah, fun and lively, and just make people, it's a summer, so summer is fun, and we should be fun as well. So yeah.
Thank you, Gabriela. Next question is from KMPSV.
Jason, KMPSV, Netherlands. Are you well aware of the workload of the social media coordinator, and how do you think this will fit in your life? Thank you.
Thank you, KMPSV. Gabriela?
Gabriela, social media coordinator candidate. I'm aware of the workload. I talked with Lucy. I definitely understood a few things I didn't quite understood before that. But I think the time management and prioritizing is for everything to be successful. And I have like 3 organizing books. I can add one more for social media and content calendar, and just organizing, because the content, there's something called digital marketing content calendar for planning in advance your content in your post, like 6 months or a year, and there are apps specifically designed for that. So if you plan everything, it will be much easier to manage. And
thank you, Gabriela. Leila?
Leila, social media coordinator candidate. Yeah, I'm well aware of the workload that this position carries with it. I think that is something that I need in life, and I need something to be very consistent and very goal-oriented, as I already am. I think that it's not going to be a problem for me because I have a pretty okay schedule that can get even more workload than just for the social media coordinator, and that is why I think to upgrade our social media coordinator place on in EPSA in general. Thank you.
Thank you, Leila. Next question is from Jess.
Jess, VPA. So social media coordinator is one of the very few coordinator positions that you need to have really good communication with the majority of the team. So I'm just wondering, how do you envision ensuring that the collaboration is kept up and that you're receiving the correct communication from the team members in regard to their projects to be able to post them sufficiently on social media? Thank you.
Thank you, Jess. Leila.
Leila, social media coordinator candidate. Actually, I believe that I have pretty good communicational skills. Also, I speak a few languages that will help me to develop more personal relationships with a few associations. And that is why I think I would be closely connected, and I would be actually doing more to seek interest in all of our local associations. And that is why I think at the end, I would have a really good communication, and in general, I would be very approachable and also approach to those who are not very engaged right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Leila. Jess, with a clarification.
So just to be clear, in case I was talking too quickly, my question was about the rest of the team members on the EPSA team. So you will be collaborating with them on their projects, seeing what they need to post on social media, trying to understand the values and the objectives of the project so that you can understand it enough to help them with the social media posts. So that's what I'm kind of wondering, how would you communicate with the team members sufficiently, considering there are so many of us? Thank you.
Thank you, Jess. Leila.
Leila, social media coordinator candidate. I'm sorry, I didn't at first understand your question, but there is a lot of us, and I see a very good potential in that because we are more diverse, and I would try to get opinion of all of members, actually for all of members of EPSA's team, and hopefully we will together create something that is not just educational but fun and great, that EPSA is going to be recognizable wherever you go. Thank you.
Thank you, Leila. Gabriela.
So great communication skills is really important in this part. I understand working in a team and collaborating with others. It's a great, it has great role. It's a grow for this position. So writing down who's responsible for the event, being aware, like we have this event and you're responsible for that and we have this deadline. And then if there's something, if I see you're struggling, you can always tell me, or I can say, okay, we have 2 days, how is the project going on? And so writing down who is responsible for what is in our plan will help make us go through this plan. And if I see there's some kind of a problem, I would reach to people on a personal level and ask, can I help? Do you struggle with the ideas or with the content? There's something I can do. And always be approachable to people. So I understand life happens. It happens to everyone. So just be understanding of life and friendly.
Thank you, Gabriela. Next question from PPSA.
Yeah, not PPSA Poland. So when you're scrolling through the feed on Facebook or Instagram, you can see that there is a lot of content, and I wanted to, and also you can see that there are also sponsored posts. So I would like to say to ask you, what is your opinion about sponsoring in social media, and what is your approach to this matter? Thanks.
Thank you, PPSA. First, we start with Gabriela.
Gabriela, social media coordinator candidate. So paid advertising is something really useful in social media. I couldn't agree more. We must use it. Again, I don't know what budget do we have, because building our presence online is a really gradual process. So if you want to make this process to go much more faster, targeting advertising is the great way to do it. So because with targeting ads, we target specific audiences. We can target demographics, we can target age range, we can target whoever we want to target. And so, yeah, it's a great way if you want to make things go a little bit faster, but of course we can do it without it. It's just depending how fast we want to go with the process. But I'm really supportive of this idea because I think it will be really useful for making us more popular. Yeah.
Thank you, Gabriela. Leila.
Leila, social media coordinator candidate. Actually, about the sponsoring thing, as I read through Torso and handbooks, there is nowhere defined for that part of EPSA's funding, and that is why I actually would firstly go to the executives to see where we stand on that. After that, with including all media's rules, I would do some sponsored posts, but in my opinion, that would not be sponsored by actually giving EPSA or students money. We will actually give something that is health beneficial, that can be used by pharmacy students, and also avoid those money issues. And also by doing those giveaways, we will actually increase our numbers. But if we don't have interesting content, with the first cleanup of followers, we are going to be unfollowed. So that is why I think beside the giveaways, we need to be more creative and more interactive with our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Leila. Next question is from Lucy, social media coordinator.
Lucy, social media coordinator. Thank you guys for your applications and the passion you are showing in these conversations. What I would like to ask is, you've showed how enthusiastic you are for the role and how much time you're all willing to put in. And that is very well and good saying that, but it very quickly becomes too much and too hard to handle. How would you realistically be able to manage this role? And like we said earlier, things like last minute requests and scrolling on your phone all day is unfeasible. So how would you actually be able to manage your time effectively so you'll be able to get from being passionate now to finishing the mandate with the same energy you started with?
Thank you, Lucy. Leila.
Leila, social media coordinator candidate. Thank you, Lucy, for everything that you actually gave us. About your question, that schedule that I would make would be really, let's say, strict, and I would actually engage with every person and every campaign leader to get really quick responses. If not, I would be seeking other solutions to get them more engaged and get them more on time, because I think punctuality is actually that is one characteristic that I really appreciate in people. And by going through analytics and having those numbers all set, I think that in the end, we can have, with my strategies, we can have really good, not only communications with managers.
Leila, your time is up. Gabriela.
Gabriela, social media coordinator candidate. Organization and discipline. I think discipline is the most important part. Let's say we wake up, I do my morning routine, then I say I have 1-2 hours for EPSA, and that's it. You that's just stick it in your calendar. You cannot do anything else. That's the plan. So I think being really disciplined. I know motivation can leave in the middle of the way. So yeah, being disciplined. And also I have SOPs for how to work, because yes, we have analytics, we have insights, blah, 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 but you have to make them into actions. You have to make this raw data into actionable insights so they can make work. So I have SOPs, how to work, how to approach everything, and being organized. I think that's it. Discipline. I would always say that. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabriela. And we have a 9.3 from ONEP and seconded from PPSA. So first, I open the floor for discussion on the motion. Bianca, with the technical.
Bianca, parliamentarian, I take the floor for the 9.3.
And now we vote on the motion. So type for, against, or abstain in the chat. We have 26 votes for, the motion was carried. And now both Leila and Gabriela will have their chance to address the GA with their final 1-minute speech. And we will start with Gabriela. Gabriela, you're muted.
Gabriela, social media candidate. I just want to say thank you for your question. Thank you for your consideration of my application. And with a lot of creativity, vision, and innovation, because innovative thinking is really important, striving always for quality content over quantity, I can develop this position and make it even better, because we can always be better. And of course, the most important thing is to have the right motivation and passion for the job, because you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if your heart doesn't want it, then nothing will help you. So thank you so much for today.
Thank you, Gabriela. Leila.
Leila, social media coordinator candidate. In my final statement, I would like to express my gratitude to present myself in front of you today. I believe I have a clear vision of what EPSA social media platforms need and how to develop them properly. I mentioned before, and I am stating that now, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter are equally valuable platforms that we can use in different ways to connect with all of our students across Europe. Today, more than ever, social media is a crucial part of everyone's life, and probably only the safest way to keep our social circle bonded together. My goal is to prevent loss of interest, of course, across all our platforms, follow current trends in social media world, and to accomplish one happy, educated, and lovable online community. I hope you will distinguish my qualities and grant me this mandate. Thank you.
Thank you, Leila. Next, we have mobility coordinator. PC received one application from Ines Fernandez, proposed by APEF Portugal and seconded by KMPSV the Netherlands. So I open the floor for questions.
Sanya, xiii Slovenia, you mentioned that you want to restructure and optimize the project. What exactly do you have in mind here? Where do you think the project needs to change?
Ines?
Thank you, Ines, Mobility Coordinator candidate. Thank you for your question. So having an insight of the position these last 2 months, aligned with my LS and TWINET coordinator experience, made me realize that even though TWINET is one of the oldest and popular EPSA projects among students, it's not well organized and needs a restructure in terms of regulation, because by the end of the day, it's the EPSA's name and face that is involved, and some problems that we have present on the past should be tackled and prevented. This discussion and brainstorming about the restructure have started on the last team meeting, and I've been trying to understand how is the TWINET organized in each country, because there are slightly difference between countries. So the investigation that I meant to do have the purpose of regulate the project in order to optimize it, smooth the communication between TWINET coordinators, and also help on the TWINET handbook writing. Yeah, I guess that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ines. Next, we have KMPSV.
Jason, KMPSV Netherlands. Do you think what Facebook and WhatsApp group is beneficial, and would it be less chaotic and less work to maintain one of the channels instead of two? Thank you.
Ines?
Ines, Mobility Coordinator candidate, thank you for your question. I believe it's the Mobility Coordinator role to get closer to the TWINET coordinators. And I find having both is a good way to reach to all of them, because I believe some use more Facebook and others use more WhatsApp. Although I plan, and this mandate I've already started with the Google Groups. So I want all the formal information to go through the Google Groups, and also create some good practice sharing threads. So all the formal information and let's say threads would be on the Google Groups, and I would just use the Facebook group and the WhatsApp group for reminders and quick questions. Also, I intend to post on both at the same time and the same thing. So not to be chaotic, TWINET coordinators just need to check the one they use more. And yeah, indeed, both groups need to be updated regularly, because some TWINET coordinators are not active in one or another. I can also, if I get elected, ask TWINET coordinators which of the groups they prefer to be, and there's no need to be on both groups, because I believe posting the same thing on both is the important part. Thank you.
Thank you, Ines. Next, we have PPSA.
Joanna, PPSA Poland. I would like to ask, how do you see the future of the interprofessional TWINET? Thank you.
Ines?
Ines, Mobility Coordinator candidate, thank you for your question. I think the feedback we are receiving from the international interprofessional TWINET with EMSA is really good. I believe the future goes to contact other students associations, so we can have more students involved, like the Dentist Association or the Psychologist Students Association at the European level. So the future would be contacting and trying to collaborate with other students association, and also always try to understand the feedback. Now with the EMSA is good, but we need to see what went well, what didn't went so well, so we can improve for future collaborations. Thank you.
Thank you, Ines. And next we have xiii.
Sanya, xiii Slovenia. How can you ensure that TWINET coordinators won't cancel on each other in the last minute? It was especially a problem during online TWINET, because 2 of our TWINET partners canceled on us like 3 days before. So how would you prevent that from happening?
Ines?
Ines, Mobility Coordinator candidate, thank you for your question. So as I mentioned on my first question, I guess that's why I want to investigate and restructure the TwinNet project, because situations like cancel on last minute have happened on live TwinNets with plane tickets already bought, and now with online TwinNets is happening again. So that's why on the last team meeting we were brainstorm a bit. It's really difficult for the mobility coordinator to tackle this, but if we have a TwinNet handbook and we have the project regulated with all the EPSA members doing it on the same way, having the same criteria to choose TwinNet coordinators, and some agreement is made, I guess it's easier. So to tackle this, it's to regulate, to have it said on the TwinNet handbook what to say about it. So yeah, that's what the mobility coordinator can do and try to prevent this to happen again. Thank you.
Thank you, Ines. Shasasafada with a direct.
Sanya Shasasafada Slovenia, just one more question. What is your opinion on preventing that with fines, like money fines for participants who cancel on each other?
Ines?
Ines, mobility coordinator candidate. So I think when we are writing regulations in the TwinNet handbook regulation, we don't want to push member associations and people away of the project. I'm not sure if the fines would be a good solution or not. I think it will be included on the discussion because we already started to brainstorm a bit. But since it's involved money, I'm not sure how EPSA can tackle this or not. But it's for sure one of the points we will discuss, or we started to discuss. And even if I don't get elected on the handover period, I will try to point this out and try to understand if it's feasible, if it's possible, and if it could be, after all, a benefit for the project and for EPSA. But yes, indeed, something needs to be done for people to be, I won't say afraid, but at least to see that some consequences should be put and done. And thank you, Sonia. And I know it's a quite difficult question.
Thank you, Ines. Ruben?
Hello, Ruben Viegas, Vice President of External Relations. Thank you very much for your application. My question is, I'm being pessimistic here and assuming that mobility will not return so soon. So if that's the case, what would be the priority for the first part of your mandate? And then when mobility do return, how would you do it? So which things will you give priority? Thank you.
Ines?
Ines, mobility coordinator candidate. Thank you, Ruben. So my two priorities won't change even though mobility is now being affected by the pandemic situation. It will be the TwinNet and also to maintain and have good collaborations regarding mobility like the Erasmus Student Network. So first part, if we are being a bit pessimist here, I would say that I will focus on the online TwinNet and on the TwinNet coordinators, because I know most of them are feeling a bit dismotivated with the online ones. So trying to have a smooth communication with them and have maybe workshops on how they can motivate students, how they can share good practice between each other regarding the online TwinNets. And then I would focus on trying to start new collaborations regarding the interprofessional TwinNet with other associations. So when we are back to normal, we can do it, and try to follow up on the Erasmus Student Network collaboration so it can be ready when the mobility is back. I hope I can understand it, answer to everything in 1 minute. Thank you.
Thank you, Ines. Next, we have PPSA.
Yeah, I'm at PPSA Poland. Not a long time ago, there was a situation that there was organized TwinNet with the association, which wasn't an EPSA member. So I would like to ask you, how do you plan to organize your work and ensure that the situation like this will never happen? Thanks.
Ines?
Ines, mobility coordinator candidate, thank you for your question. Yeah, that's why I was mentioning that by the end of the day, it's EPSA's name that is involved. And that's why it's so important to understand how each country, how each EPSA member is organized internally to tackle these situations. Because we have seen last mandates that some TWINETs are organizing without even EPSA or the mobility coordinator know that. So I think here the collaboration with the LICs and with the member associations in the close contact is needed to prevent these situations and to have some of these possible scenarios tackled on the TWINET handbook that is currently being written in order to prevent this. But in the end of the day, it's really difficult for the mobility coordinator or EPSA to understand how is the local associations on each member association of EPSA. So here is a closer contact with the LSs and try to see the structure of the TWINET in each country and then start to organize my work based on the information I will receive.
Thank you, Ines.
Thank you.
I have no one else on the speaking list. Do we have any last questions? Ruben?
Yes, Ruben, Vice President of External Relations. I wanted to ask if you see the need for any project that relates to mobility more on a social services kind of way, like the humanitarian one, or if you would do it through the members, or if you have any perspectives on this area. Thank you.
Ines?
Ines, mobility coordinator candidate, thank you for your question. Here I will say my personal opinion, but of course, if I get elected, I will have an opinion based on the team and also the members. But I think that last year's EPSA is always adding projects and not focusing on the ones that already have. So I think that the humanitarian mobility project was dropped and maybe there's no need to focus on another one now. So I will focus on TWINET and understand how I can tackle all the situations that, as we are seeing now, are being raised and are not went so well last mandate, and put the project regulated and focusing. And maybe in some years there will have space for EPSA to focus on a humanitarian one, even though I think it's good to have humanitarian and social service focused. But I will try to always motivate TWINET coordinators to have PHC and solidarity initiatives on the TWINETs they organize, but not EPSA organizing it because a project was dropped, so I don't see the need to have another one. And thank you for your question. But it's my personal opinion. Of course, the members wish and the team wish we can work on it if I get elected.
Thank you, Ines. Any other questions? I see none. And now, Ines, you may address GA with your final 1-minute speech. Yes, Ines?
Ines, mobility coordinator candidate. So I would like to thank you for your time and consideration to analyze my application and also for your questions. I decided to apply for the team since during my academic path, EPSA had a huge role on my improvement as student, as future professional, and for sure as person. So I thought I could help other students to enrich themselves too by promoting the work under this portfolio that I love. So far, it has been a wonderful journey to help bringing pharmacy students, knowledge and mobility together. And now with a new perspective and even more motivated, I would like to continue the work I started just a month ago and hopefully fulfill the vote of confidence you gave me. And I hope you can give it to me today too. And I hope I've been clear enough on my answers and proposals. Thank you.
Thank you, Ines. Next, we have Professional Affairs Coordinator. PC did not receive any application. Next is Grant Coordinator. Once again, PC did not receive any application. Policy Affairs Coordinator. PC received 1 application from Fatoumata Ramadana Gomez-Sek, proposed by APF Portugal and seconded by AFOP Austria. And I open the floor for questions. I see none. Okay, KMPSV.
Jason KMPSV, the Netherlands. How would you pick the topics for the policy toolkits? Thank you.
Fatoumata. We cannot hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Fatoumata, Policy Affairs Coordinator candidate. Regarding the topics for the policy toolkit, I did not yet decide or think about those, because I think since it's a new project, I would like to discuss it before with Piotr, since during the handover period, because it is a project that he already been working on it, and I would like to start it together with him and make those decisions together.
Thank you. Next we have PPSA.
Jana, PPSA Poland. In your application, you stated that you plan to increase the activity of advocacy platform representative. And I wanted to ask you, do you have any specific ideas how to do that? Thanks.
Fatoumata.
Fatoumata, Policy Affairs Coordinator candidate. I think that it's always a question that is up to the table, because there are always associations that are more active than others. In this case, I think by creating the policy toolkit, and also by having and continuing developing the policy newsletter, those initiatives can create engagement on the advocacy platform representatives.
Thank you. I have no one else on the speaking list. Do we have any other questions? Jess?
Sorry, Jess, VPA, almost forgot. So basically at the moment, the workload for policy coordinator is quite high, as I'm sure Piotr has told you already. And I know that a lot of Advocacy platform representatives are getting more engaged and more interested in policy topics. And I'm just wondering, could you see them contributing more to specific topics? So say, for example, if one of the associations was interested in vaccination, to update our position paper with your help. Could you see anything like that happening? Or do you think that you would prefer to focus solely on the mandate yourself? I just want to see, do you have any opinion on that?
Thank you, Jess. Fatoumata?
Fatoumata, Policy Affairs Coordinator candidate. So that's a good question. I think that it's always good to discuss these topics with the APR, so I will be up to consider that suggestion, of course. I think that the Advocacy Platform Representatives meetings also serve for this kind of discussion, so that's something I'm very up to search that.
Thank you, Fatoumata. Next, we have KMPSV.
Jason, KMPSV, the Netherlands. How would you say that you will benefit from your past experience? Thank you.
Fatoumata.
Fatoumata, Policy Affairs Coordinator candidate. I think that my time on EPSA gave me the opportunity to start contacting with policy in a national level. This gave me the opportunity to start contacting with the policy documents, and I think that it will be the biggest thing for this position. Also, during my time in APEF, I gained skills such as time management, the capacity work in team, and I think all those skills will be very, very good for me and for this position.
Thank you, Fatoumata. Next, we have EPSA.
EPSA Ireland. I just saw in your nomination form that you will try to keep close contact with member associations and to create more engagement into advocacy and bring it closer to students. I'm just wondering, do you have any ideas on how you might achieve more engagement with the students and the member associations? Thanks.
Fatoumata.
Fatoumata, Policy Affairs Coordinator candidate. I think that the main step to reach more students is by promoting the advocacy initiatives. So I think by having a good promotion of the policy newsletter, then the policy toolkit, by developing the online discussion forums and making a good a promotion of these initiatives are always good ways to reach more the students. I also think that a good collaboration with the educational department is very important regarding this topic because it's always a good opportunity to include advocacy on the educational initiatives.
Thank you, Fatoumata. Question from EPSA was dropped. Do we have any other one? Wait, EPSA?
EPSA Turkey. I think not all the members know a lot about the advocacy platform. Will you make a presentation or something beginning of your mandate to engage more people? Thank you.
Clarification from Fatoumata.
Fatoumata, Policy Affairs Coordinator candidate. I'm sorry, you are asking if I would like to create more engagement to students regarding the advocacy platform representatives. I'm not sure I understood well.
EPSA?
Yes, but the main thing I'm just trying to say is that I don't think all of the members of the EPSA know a lot about the platform. The question is, what will you do to inform them about this platform? Thank you.
Fatoumata?
Fatoumata, Policy Affairs Coordinator candidate. Yes, I would be available to do that. I would be working together with the VPA. So yes, we would be explaining everything to the students.
Thank you, Fatoumata. Jess with a direct.
So just that everyone is aware of this, as per the regulation changes yesterday, there will be a new position on the EPSA team called the Voxi Platform Coordinator. So their main role will be coordinating the platform in general. So the policy coordinator will of course be welcome to attend the meetings and to engage with members in a policy aspect, but it's not their main role. So any presentations for the members will be done through the Advocacy Platform Coordinator with the help from VPEA. So just to make that clear for everyone going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Jess. Next we have KMPSV.
Jason, KMPSV Netherlands. I saw in your form that you plan to finish your internship and plan to deliver your thesis at that time. How do you plan to combine the workload of the position? Yeah, thank you.
Fatoumata?
Fatoumata, Policy Affairs Coordinator candidate. As I said, I am finishing my internship in August, and also I intend to deliver my thesis until September. So the handover period, it will be finishing on July. So during this period, the workload, it will be less because we'll be still be going on the handover period. From July to September, I think I will be able to manage everything because I always been able to manage my studies and also the workload regarding other positions I have. So I don't think that will be a problem for just 2 months.
Thank you, Fatoumata. No one else on the speaking list. Any other questions? I see none. And Fatoumata, you may address the GA with your final 1-minute speech. Yes?
Fatoumata Sek, Policy Affairs Coordinator Candidate. General Assembly, thank you very much for all your questions. First of all, I would like to thank APEF and AFOP for supporting my application. I would like to state once again that I'm highly motivated and committed. I believe that the experience I've gained in my local association and in APEF gave me skills that makes me a good candidate for this position. I will always look for ways to bring advocacy closer to students and by that increase the engagement on advocacy initiatives. To do so, I will promote the EPSA newsletter, the Policy Wednesday on Twitter, and organize workshops and online discussion forums. Above all, I intend to represent pharmaceutical students' opinion in the best way possible, focusing on writing advocacy documents and maintaining an active position regarding advocacy and policy subjects. I look forward to contributing to EPSA and for the students' empowerment. Thank you for the attention.
Thank you, Fatoumata. Next on the list, we have Advocacy Platform Coordinator. Since this was a position only accepted yesterday, we don't have an application. And now we have presented all of the candidates for coordinator positions. Next, we have Audit Committee, and PC did not receive any application. Shazza with a clarification.
Shastanya, Slovenia, maybe I misunderstood, but didn't we yesterday just vote on the name of the new function and not for the function itself? Didn't we choose just the name? Advocacy
Mihai with a direct.
Mihai, President, by accepting the changes in the coordinator's handbook, the position was defined and accepted as a new position in EPSA. So the position exists exists at this moment.
Thank you, Mihai. As I said, we had no applications for Audit Committee. Bianca with a technical.
Bianca, parliamentarian. That ends our presentations. Now it will be the time for the executive to go behind closed doors and have a meeting. I proposed at the end of last session for this meeting to take place during the lunch break, and I will propose an hour and a half for this. And no candidates will be in breakout rooms. Everybody will have a break except for the executive. And we will be here back at 3, an hour and a half, 3, yes. And now I will ask Maeva to perform a roll call. Maeva?
Yes, I'm sorry. AFOP Austria, EPSA Belgium, BPHSA Bulgaria, CPSA Croatia, CZPSA Czech Republic, TERS Estonia, FIPSA Finland, ANEP France, BPHD Germany, GPSA Greece, IPSA Ireland, SFD Lithuania, MPSA North Macedonia, K.N.P.S.V. the Netherlands, NUPSA Norway, PPSA Poland, APF Portugal, FASFA Romania, NAPSA Serbia, SPSA Slovakia, SSF Slovenia, FEF Spain, NAPS Sweden, ASEP Switzerland, UPSA International Turkey, and BPSA United Kingdom. (26 members).
And I suspend the standing orders. See you here in an hour and a half.